Philippines has the right to build up a credible defense without any question coming from other nations, newly appointed Defense Secretary Gilberto Gibo Teodoro Jr. said. The job of the Secretary of the National Defense is first and foremost building up our credible deterrent, and the way that we build up our credible deterrent is our business and nobody else's business, and whether we partner with country X or Y in order to build up our own core strength is a question for the Philippines. Just like we do not question the buildup of not even defensive capabilities but offensive capabilities of other countries, they should not question ours, and they should not tie up our buildup of our capabilities to any question of whether it's Taiwan or whatnot. The Philippines is for the Philippines, and we leverage that, and I think other countries want to help us because they view it as an integral part of standing strong with democratic values. The defense chief also said that the Philippines is not a pawn of anyone in the geopolitical battle in the region. And so the Philippines is a value proposition, as we call it, by its own self, and not a pawn of anybody else in the geopolitical battle that's raging within our area now, he stressed. Teodoro said manning the defense post is more challenging now. It was not merely the relationship with China which was different then. During that time there was no Middle Eastern implosion yet, there was no Arab Spring, there was no tension between Russia and Ukraine, and the relationship between China and the United States was different. Even in the semiconductor and technology sector there was cooperation, so now we live in a vastly different world, he added. With such occurrences, Teodoro said there is a need to build up the country's defense capabilities. On the other hand, he said communist rebels are welcome to return to the fold of the government. Teodoro said he has always been against the government entering into peace talks with the Communist Party of the Philippines New People's Army National Democratic Front, CPP-NPA-NDF. You can't take up arms and just violate the Constitution, in the same way as we do not want rightists also to take up arms against the government. It works both ways, he said. Teodoro said communist rebels always have the option to push their agenda in the legal arena. Why will we enter into peace talks when they can go back and run for public office? This is really a violation of our democratic processes. This is the reason why the OPAPRU, Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity, is there, in order to help them, rehabilitate them, and give them a new life, he added. Teodoro said he believes that the rebel struggle is not a question of ideology but power. With most communist fronts already dismantled, the armed forces of the Philippines, AFP, need not be as aggressive as before, he said. However, the military must be on guard against other forms of terrorism. They have to retain their vigilance because we cannot afford any more conflicts at this time. We must secure the development of the country, Teodoro said. There were intermittent peace negotiations between the national government and the NDF since 1986. On November 23, 2017, then-President Rodrigo Duterte signed Proclamation 360, terminating the national government's peace negotiations with the CPP-NDF following a series of attacks by the NPA against state forces and civilians. The CPP-NPA is listed as a terrorist organization by the United States, the European Union, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the Philippines. The Anti-Terrorism Council, ATC, formally designated the NDF as a terrorist organization on June 23, 2021. The ATC called it an integral and inseparable part of the CPP-NPA that was created in April 1973. Teodoro is keen on fulfilling the order of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to reform the military and uniformed personnel's pension fund. You know that is a lot of risk in order to grow the fund. You need to take some risks, but it should be balanced by prudential standards too, he said. In March, Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno warned the president that failure to address the increasing cost of pensions for retirees could lead to a fiscal collapse. Now the initial job actually is to minimize as much as possible the hemorrhage immediately, and then, because a self-sustaining pension scheme needs time, we need to build up the funds and we will need to raise sources. So it takes time, Teodoro said. He added that the objective is to improve the capabilities of the Department of National Defense. As a manager, my first job is to manage the home institution itself. I want to help lay the foundation of a Department of National Defense for our future, to develop expertise in program management, analytics, prediction, other capabilities, contracting and international relations, and build up the career track of our own employees because we must remember that this is a civilian department, we are here to support, Teodoro said. The DND exercises executive supervision over the AFP, the Office of Civil Defense, the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, the National Defense College of the Philippines, the Government Arsenal and the Veterans Memorial Medical Center.